Hello. So you have goats and want to put up a fencing. Or you started correctly with first the fencing, then the goats. I would recommend starting with the terrain and deciding where you want your goats to spend most of their days. Somewhere you have an eye on them during the day, and somewhere you don't mind looking a bit beaten up after a few years. We placed our goats under a few trees right at the back of our property. So now we are utilizing an area that used to be a dump for building materials, and the goats are out of the way for traffic flow on the farm. And their pen is not the first thing you see when you enter the farm. The houses are not too close and not too far, because noise is also a factor to keep in mind. So starting with materials, it depends on your budget and your long-term plan. We built a 1.8-meter fence with a welded mesh with 10 centimeters by 10 centimeter blocks, because I knew we were going to install electric fencing, and because the fence is so high, now we can use the pin for horses, goats, pigs, or cattle. Thinking ahead can help your future self. For only goats, you can go lower than 1.8 meters. A good thing to keep in mind is your animal's behavior. Goats tend to make holes in the bottom of the fence if they can't jump over. They will start putting one horn through the fence and wiggle it around until there's a gap big enough to fit their head through. That is why we knew from the start we are putting in electric fencing on the bottom of the fence and on the inside. At first we had 5 lines, but came to realize only 3 were necessary. I really tried getting it as close to the ground that I could, considering our terrain not being level. We cemented corner posts on each corner, with stays to keep them from pulling out when pulling the fence tight. And when the cement dried, after a few days, we put in 3 straight lines all around and pulled them nice and tight. It helped with putting in the wide mesh. The line helped to keep the fence straight and keep it from drooping down on those long stretches. Another good idea is to build a small wall all around your fence to discourage dogs and genets from digging their way in and maybe causing harm to your animals. The electric fencing, I'm not 100% sure what machine we used. I just went to our local electric fencing store, told them what I want to use it for, and they advised me on this solar model combined with polywire for the fencing. Just a side note, polywire was the cheapest option. The wire is kept in place with these insulators. On the corners you can use the insulators with a spring. They help to tension your polywire. Your wiring must be connected in a circuit to allow electric flow through them from the inverter. Your fence is only as strong as your weakest point. And with any fence, your gate is usually your weakest point, because you must be able to get in and out of your pen, and your goats know that. When planning your fence, plan your gate so that you can drive in with a vehicle and a trailer. It has been so handy being able to drop off building material inside the pen or loading off goats straight in the pen. It kept them from running wild on the farm. Looking at our gate, we made it with a lot of strengthening bars to keep it from drooping, and we kept it closed with a quick latch. We did place the latch high so that children can't just open the gate and let all the goats out. Now you can plan your goats' fencing. May your goats love you and be loved by you. A video on things you might want to know before buying your first goat will be coming up soon. Follow along.